Okay. Yeah! Test your microphone. Say some words that are inspiring for the generations to come after us.
I like big butts and I cannot lie.
None of you other brothers can deny. Oh, let me check them. Let me check your knobs here. I feel like you're a little drowned out. I can't see there.
Ooh, ee, ooh, ah. Ting, tang, walla, walla, bing, bang. Ooh, ee, ooh, ah.
That does nothing. Hey, let's see what this does. Say words. Oh, shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Motherfucker. Well, let me do it this way. Fuck. Ooh, yeah. Oh, we're going to do that on episodes. I like that. Uh-oh. I fucked up the knobs.
No.
Oh, no. Oh, my God. Spencer. Look at this cock. Oh, shit. I have a deeply philosophical question for you.
Okay.
It's a two-part question, so bear that in mind as you answer part one.
All right.
Would you rather lick a clean butthole or a poopy butthole?
I would assume clean. I would think clean.
Part two of the question.
Okay,
The poopy butthole belongs to Scarlett Johansson.
Okay.
The clean butthole belongs to Betty White.
Dirty.
You're going dirty? Ooh.
Now,
I'm sure some...
When you say dirty, what's dirty? Like?
I said poopy.
Oh, poopy? Okay,
There's brown crust around that rim.
I'd be okay with it still.
Yeah. That's a tough one. I pondered that long into the night last night.
You did, but that's what got you to bed.
I couldn't sleep. It was bugging me because what do you do in that situation? Now, it's easy to just answer and say, well, do the old lady clean butthole. But when you're actually there and you see 95-year-old Betty White or however, she's definitely like 98 or 90. She's old as fuck. So you see Betty White, and she's probably like 3 foot now, osteoporosis galore, and she's got that old BH that's been hammered since the 20s. She's actually older than sliced bread. That's a proven fact. So you see that butthole, and then you see Scarlett Johansson fine as wine with a little dingy ring around it. What?
Yeah.
It's just poop. I mean,
yeah. Everybody poops.
That's how you get into scat porn. The more you know. Hey there, welcome to the Drunken Pen Writing Podcast. I'm your host, Caleb James. With me, as always, is Spencer, the Bulgarian Boogeyman Church.
Ooh, I like that one.
Yeah, it's a good one,
I
right?
like that one.
Yeah, Bulgarian Boogeyman. And today we actually have a special guest, Joaquin Phoenix. Could not be here.
No.
But we did get Jared Leto, who also denied our request. So, we have nobody, as usual.
We tried digging up Peach Leather, but...
You miss every shot you don't take.
Yeah.
So we at least got to put the vibe out there that we're looking for guests. So I talked to Joaquin's agent, which I don't think it was really his agent. It was a guy named Raul. And I just saw him down the Strip District. He was on this. He was wearing like the Joker makeup, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool makeup." He's like, "Yeah, I'm Joaquin's agent there," and I was like, "Yeah, that was a believable story I just told." I'm ashamed of myself. Some writer I couldn't even craft a tale on the spot to intrigue the audience. Today I'm drinking another Negroni.
You like those?
You're drinking Pure Life.
Pure Life.
There it is.
There he is.
I knew it. Can you take his janglers off? No, his neck janglers.
Oh, I was going to say his balls? I thought...
Jingling. No, he already lost those. We already took those off.
That's what I thought.
We took those off some time ago. There he goes, too. Just... Never fails.
We took those off before we had a chance to realize what they were.
For a brief period, I don't know if this happens to all dogs, but after we got him fixed for like a solid 3 months, he just was getting boners and humping everything.
Yeah.
It was very strange. You alright? That sounded angry. So we were talking about having an episode. What is the topic again? we are going to discuss the movies that the people watch in the stores with the pops of the pudding. No, I had the great idea. Actually, it kind of goes along with something I tweeted, I think it was yesterday, about the Joker movie. And I brought this up because everybody's praising the new trailer for the Joker. And I guess Joaquin Phoenix, they think he did an amazing job already without seeing the movie. Which I agreed. He looked like he was going to be good. But everything I've seen when they were just showing like set pictures and everything before, everybody's just shitting on it.
Shitting all over it.
He'll never be like Heath Ledger. He can never live up to He won't even be Jack Nicholson. Fuck, Jared Leto probably did it, but like everybody was just pooping on Joaquin Phoenix. Oh, he's too old. How's he going to do a Joker origin as an old guy? And then here we are, the trailer drops, and just like I predicted, because I said a long time ago, I thought they were going with like a Taxi Driver vibe, and that's exactly what it looks like. And it looks really good, and now everybody's praising it, saying he's going to be the best Joker.
See, my thing about it was just that I didn't necessarily think that he was going to do like a bad job. I just didn't see the point of a Joker movie.
Right.
Regardless, but then as the pictures and teasers and actual trailers came out, it looks pretty, pretty good.
Well, they were talking about it being kind of like King of Comedy meets Taxi Driver. I never watched King of Comedy. That was a Martin Scorsese movie with Robert De Niro. He was kind of, I guess he was mentally ill, and he wanted to be like a comedian and like a TV host or something. So he hosted a show in his basement, and there was like nobody there, but he thought he acted like there was or something.
We went to school with a kid like that.
Yeah, what? Yeah, I guess we did. How you doing? He always interview you. He'd just walk up with an imaginary microphone and interview you, and he'd tell Bugs Bunny jokes all the time. Going, "What's up, Doc?" That was weird. But Robert De Niro is in the Joker movie, and I guess in the trailer you can see him on stage briefly or on TV or something.
No, really?
So maybe they're going to go off of that. I don't know, because it's Martin Scorsese who produced this one, right?
Yeah, he's a producer, yeah.
So wouldn't that be some shit if they did a shamalama ding dong twist and it was just like a continuation of that or something?
What's weird is that it's directed by the guy who did the Hangover movies.
That's what I thought. And this doesn't look anything like a Hangover movie, so we'll see. Go ahead. Go on, I can edit. I love editing. I love sitting there editing. Editing, pressing buttons, and I delete the... The point of this episode was going to be something intriguing.
Wasn't it like the,
Well, I wanted to talk...
adaptations of different literature and just other fiction?
Well, I didn't come up with a title yet, so that's to be determined. But the basic thing I was thinking was kind of like with the Joker. It's almost like after Heath Ledger died, they just wanted the character of the Joker to die. Like the hardcore fans did not want anybody else to play that role, but it's a fictional character. Yeah. And then they shit on Jared Leto's Joker. Whoa. And granted, I mean, it wasn't. I didn't like how he looked at all. But at the same time, like that's a different. It's not like he is just shitting on Heath Ledger. It's a different adaptation, a different iteration of the character, and I am I fully go for people imagining characters different and changing them up, which happens obviously way more in comics than it does in like literature. Yeah. But there's no reason you can't have a fictional character, however they were made one way, and then try to do it another way. Even if, it might fail, but I don't think characters should just die and that's the end of it. So what do you think about that? Do you think that, say, the Joker, after, his movie appearance or maybe one of his vast fucking comic book appearances, like he has a real like the Killing Joke, real solid storyline there, you think they should just end it on that? Oh, yeah, they did a great job with it. Nobody else should try.
I think that the especially like when you start dealing with these older characters, you have to change certain things to modernize and update them a lot. Like with the Joker thing, like I said, I just didn't think there really needed to be a Joker movie, because I think one of the better things about the Joker is not knowing
his actual origin.
Yeah, but putting that aside, like I said, I've seen the trailer. It looks like it's gonna be a good movie, so I'm all for it. Like I said, my main problem was with it. Like I just didn't understand a Joker movie, let alone an origin Joker movie, or if we like our present, an orange Joker movie.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
But
Side note, I love his name, Arthur Fleck. Affleck.
yeah,
Affleck.
yeah,
That's
I saw
great.
that. I saw that. I don't know. I like that the being able to change things and taking a little bit of a liability to see what might stick with, because you never know what makes it better.
Well, a good example of that is like the most recent iterations of Batman and Superman. You have a darker Superman, and you have a Batman who fucking has a gun, who's shooting people and shit. People hated both of those things. Batman and Superman came out in, what, the 20s and 30s?
30s, I think. Yeah, I think it was the 30s. Well, Batman just had its 80th anniversary, so...
Yeah, so if you have characters that old, how are you going to hold... Especially Superman. He, the Boy Scout, he has the morals and everything. How are you going to have that same character in modern times? Is it going to work? I mean, I understand having like the moral aspect of it, but you can't have a Superman that's fucking still 1930s Superman.
And the truth, justice, and the American way, you can't have, especially the American way now.
What is the American way now?
And the fact that these movies are global, like before, like whenever, I'm sure whenever the Christopher Reeve Superman movies, I'm sure eventually they made it overseas and stuff like that, but it wasn't like the big like blocked office thing like now, like Captain America, his movies in other countries, they don't call him Captain America.
Call him the first Avenger
or something like that, So, but like, and it all depends. Like the Superman, I really don't give a shit about Superman too much. So whenever they did like a darker, more realer kind of Superman,
you liked it.
I was all.
I liked it too.
I was all for that. Like,
but hardcore Superman fans hated it because it wasn't the original character iteration.
And like I liked this Ben Affleck Batman.
I thought he was good.
I just think that any time that he had a chance to portray the character, the writing was just shitty.
Held him back, yeah.
Because they didn't write the character of Batman the way that he is in those movies. Like in the Justice League movie, whenever there's a scene whenever Superman first comes back, and Superman's like, "Oh, you guys must be desperate if you brought me back," and he's like, "Even you, and he like looks at Batman and says, "You hated me," and he goes, "I don't not hate you." Batman would never have said that. No. All he would have done was looked at him and go, "Ugh," and it would have got the same like comedic effect.
Just a dead face, just stare at him.
That you were trying to aim for with that line.
See, that's ham-fisted writing and not caring about the character, because that's a reshot. They went back and did reshoots because they felt it wasn't funny enough, and that's like an awful way to go about making movies. But at the same time, like you said, a character definitely can suffer from the writing, but they could have easily made the best Batman of all time.
Yeah.
And he could have still shot people with guns, and people still would have liked it if they did it right.
And I mean, and there's a history of Batman with the guns, because even early on, like if you look at like the old early detectives, like there's this famous scene of like a crook is like looking out of a window, and Batman's on the fire escape and just like kicks him in the head and like snaps his neck.
Yeah, there's
like that early stuff.
He hung a dude from a helicopter, I think, once.
Something like that.
It was like a crazy guy, and instead of saving him, he just killed him.
And like he's always used guns, he's always had the grappling hook, and he's had other kind of even recently in the comics he was fighting KG Beast because he shot Nightwing in the head.
Oof.
Yeah, and so that's a whole fucking thing that they're doing now. He's not Dick Grayson anymore. He's Rick Grayson, because he doesn't remember any of his adult like Nightwing stuff like that.
Yeah, that's why he changed his name to Rick.
But so anyways, in the Batman title, when he's hunting him down, they're like in Russia and they're fighting. The guy is beating him up, and he's on the ground, and he's like hovering over Batman, and Batman takes his grappling gun and just shoots it up in the air, and he like hits him in the chin, and you hear his neck make this crack sound, and he falls, and Batman just leaves him there. He's like, "You can find a way to get out."
Yeah, that's kind of fucked up. Yeah, Batman he's clearly opposed to murder, but he has murdered. But again, that goes with the writers. different iterations of Batman, different storylines. You can change these things, but some people are so diehard they won't let it happen. Like another example is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
In the movies, they always have Peter Parker as the perpetual teenager. Like, we're on the fucking third reboot of Spider-Man, and he's still a teenager, which is fine because that was a big arc of his character. But there's so many stories where he's an adult, and they only touched on it with like the Tobey Maguire movies. But I want to see a more mature storyline with Spider-Man.
Well, the problem with those earlier ones is that they had like Tobey Maguire when he's like 30 trying to play a
teenager. Yeah,
they actually have like a kid now. So what I'm hoping,
well, now it works. But like Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, like they're not fucking teenagers.
Yeah. So what I'm hoping now is that they're gonna try to real time it to a certain point to as he's getting older. So like you literally have, if you can keep a hold of him, you can have
watch him grow up. That'd be cool.
And he can play Spider-Man for like the next 20 years. Is what I'm hoping for.
Well, I mean, just so we don't talk about, comic book here, it's just easy, like, with the comic book movies out, it's easier to talk about those. But say, like a Frankenstein or a Dracula, like those classic characters, they haven't changed too much. And when they did the Robert De Niro Frankenstein movie, they actually went more with the book. It wasn't the, bolts in the neck, square head Frankenstein. He was like a fucking almost zombie looking kind of creepy guy. And that's how Frankenstein was written.
Yeah.
But because the early movies portrayed Frankenstein or Frankenstein's monster the way we know it, that's how audiences want to see their Frankenstein monster. So that De Niro movie I didn't think did too well, but it was a good movie. And then, like, Dracula, they never want to see, like, a modernized Dracula. They always want the cape-wearing, fucking pale face, fancy, Bela Lugosi vampire.
Well, the thing with the vampire one, though, too, is, like, that's a whole nother genre. So they could do that with not even dealing with Dracula per se. They can just have Twilight.
Let me defend Stephanie Meyer real quick.
Why?
For the first... Well, we have to have a first for the podcast.
Okay, all right. How many of those have you had to drink?
This is the first one.
Huh?
No. Stephanie Meyer, I will give her this. Even though Twilight was shitty and vampires shouldn't sparkle, who are we to say vampires don't sparkle? That's just her imagining a different type of vampire. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I think she did it poorly, but think about this. If you had Stephen King, Neil Gaiman, if one of those guys wrote a vampire book, and the vampires sparkled and there was a reason for their sparkling, you might not think it was so lame.
Yeah.
It might be cool. Maybe because they would describe it in a way that would be fucking cool.
Other than just like they had glitter.
Yeah, or whatever fuck she said. They're beautiful in the sunlight. They're like a sparkling crystal. I'm paraphrasing. I have no idea what she fucking said.
Wouldn't that just bring more to like, why is that guy so glittery? Or why is that guy shining so much?
Yeah.
And it kind of takes the angst out of being like a vampire, like, oh yes, you're immortal and all this, but you can only go out during the nighttime. You can't go out during the day, but well, now you can. So if the big drawback of being a vampire is you sparkle a little bit in the sunlight and that you are creepy, like hitting on high school goers.
Well, look at I Am Legend, the original novel.
Yeah,
those vampires came on the day. They weren't fucking...
They were like zombies almost.
Yeah, they were more zombie-like, but at the end of the book, they had a girl come and get him pretending to be human, and then she like wipes her paint off, or I forget what it was, but she was actually a vampire too.
Well, what I like about I haven't read the actual novel. I read the graphic novel adaptation that was done by Steve Niles, the 30 Days of Nights guy.
Right.
And it was just really thick and really wordy, so I assumed that it was pretty accurate to the book.
Well, definitely the main difference, besides it being in the 50s or whatever, was, who was it? Matheson wrote the original?
Yeah.
His original, like I said, the vampires did, because they bothered him like all day, I think. I'm pretty sure they weren't nocturnal vampires, or they could come out in the daytime if they had some kind of shit on their face or something. But they didn't actually follow the regular vampire trope of Dracula, which is the sexy, charm you vampire, bite your neck, sleeps in a coffin. So that was an early reiteration of the classic vampire character. That was excellent. But nowadays, I feel like, say his vampires didn't come out. We just had Dracula. That was the only one. And a modern writer wanted to make a fucking Blade type vampire, but it wasn't like a half-breed, just a vampire that could go out in the daytime. People would hate that idea, as we hate Stephanie Meyer's idea. And I think that's not a good way to look at it. I think even if it's original character, like classic characters or original characters, they should be allowed to change. Like if we have new writers, you should be allowed to change. And as fans, you can decide if you don't like the final product, but you don't shit on it before it comes out like they did with Joaquin Phoenix or Heath Ledger's Joker. Yeah, they thought he was a terrible cast.
They hated that until he died. Nobody gave him any props on that until he died before the movie came out.
Yeah, and then as soon as the movie came out, it was the greatest Joker of all time.
Because they're like, Brokeback Mountain Joker, nobody's gonna... That's gonna be dumb. And then he died right after he got mostly done filming, and they were just like, oh my god, he's amazing. Because he was dead. I'm sure if he was alive... I mean... I'm sure if he didn't die at that, he still did a great job, but I don't think he wouldn't have got the Oscar for it.
Probably not. But what most people, there's Oscar talk for Joaquin Phoenix based on a trailer. That's always a fucking sign.
Already?
Yeah, always. But did you see how much weight he lost for that?
That was so good. I was talking to people up at the shop yesterday when there's scenes where he didn't have like a shirt on.
It's all bones.
Yeah, it was. Ew.
He doesn't. You look at his pictures of his face. He doesn't look like Joaquin Phoenix at all. He looks like a fucking gangly monster. He went the Christian Bale route.
Oh yeah.
With the machinist, he didn't go that skinny, but he definitely went fucking real skinny because he was kind of a bigger guy before that because he kind of went off the rails. He was getting like a beard and he was chubby and shit. Oh, going back to Heath Ledger, everyone said, the fucking Jack Nicholson Joker was the best. You can't compare with that. Go back and watch the Jack Nicholson Joker and then watch the Heath Ledger Joker and judge for yourself. I mean, and then like I said, the Jared Leto Joker, everybody shit on. I didn't like how he looked. But I think if it turned out he wasn't the actual Joker, or maybe if they didn't write, they didn't go so hot topic with the look. But I think like the laugh and the character he played wasn't that bad.
Yeah, like his mannerisms and like how he sounded, and like he had a good laugh. Yeah, it was just all the stupid tattoos and the teeth and stuff. But even to go back even farther with like the Jack Nicholson Joker, people will go, "Fuck you! Nobody can top Cesar Romero's Joker."
Yeah. And he had a fucking painted mustache.
Yeah.
Like he had a mustache with paint over it. And I mean, that was a good Joker too, but obviously that show was whack. Come on. Adam West is great, but that show was whack. It was hilarious. It's great to watch, but it was not a good show.
Oh, I mean, yeah, come on. I mean,
nobody's getting inspired from that show. And you know what? Here's a hot take. I didn't like Christian Bale's Batman. I like his fighting but I didn't like his Bruce Wayne, and I didn't like his fucking Batman voice.
Yeah, that's what I the voice, and I didn't even really like a lot of the suits in the
No, I didn't like the Liam Neeson. What was that? The Batman?
Batman Begins.
It was okay, but I don't remember anything from that movie. I remember The Dark Knight because Two-Face and the Joker.
Yeah,
and then like those awesome performances. But Christian Bale, I didn't think it was that great. And then the third one, I thought it was fucking kind of shitty. I liked Bane, but I didn't. I didn't like the Sean Connery impression.
This is how I talk now.
I'm going to destroy you, Batman, and then I'm going to break your back. Like, yeah, that was stupid. They rushed that movie. That just wasn't enough.
Because you'd have to figure the Joker was going to be in that third movie somewhat for something. Like, you know what I mean?
I think they planned for him to be one of the escapees, and he probably would have had a bigger role. Especially after, like, the awards. Because I think Heath Ledger probably would have been nominated regardless. I don't think he would have won, necessarily, the Oscar. But I think he definitely would have had a bigger role in the third one just because of that. And just kind of going back to... I forget what I was talking about. When you forget what you're talking about, let's just talk about butt sex. I wonder if it happens if I press all the keys on here.
All of them at the same time?
You're just mad because my laptop has the knob in the middle and yours doesn't.
What's your knob? What's it do?
You can do anything with it.
Oh, okay.
Use it as a mouse. You can, if you hold in the a button in the middle here, you could use it to scroll. It's very fancy.
It does seem fancy.
Logitech. No, this isn't Logitech. What am I fucking talking about? It's IBM. It's a ThinkPad. A ThinkPad Yoga X1 Carbon. Joe Rogan recommended it to me.
Oh, okay.
It's a nice ass laptop, but it doesn't look like it's real fancy, but it is cool. Oh man, we forgot our sponsor today.
Which is...
Do you want to get... You don't remember the sponsor? Samson's Dildos.
Oh!
Whenever you're aching for a quake and pounding in the vagina... I don't know.
They didn't give us a read copy.
Yeah, that's what we should start doing, is just making up sponsors. We have to... Yeah, if it's Samson, it's got to be from Samson from the Bible, right? That's a double whammy because religious folk are hammering them. His real long pubes makes it strong. Oh, God. We went off the rails because I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, man. So we're talking about characters and why you should not kill them.
Well, and then
kill them off for permanently. Because, well, this goes with fucking Marvel comics especially. They kill characters and they always come back.
Yeah. Or like now, we're talking about like new takes on people and on things. The new Hellboy movie.
Everybody's shitting on the new Hellboy movie without it coming out yet because it's not Ron Perlman.
And like, I get it. I love Ron Perlman, and I love those first two movies. And I am skeptical because it just like there's just the weird things like it. Because other than like the first Ron Perlman movie was kind of similar to the comics. The second one had nothing to really do with the comics, but they were both great. This one seems like it's definitely going to be different from the comics. It seems like Hellboy. Because in the original ones and in the comics, Hellboy is with the BBRD since like he's a little kid. It doesn't seem like that now in the trailers.
But is it a bad thing?
I'm not saying it's bad. It's just it's different. So I'm gonna go see it when it comes out.
Here's an example. We're going to go see Pet Sematary on Saturday.
Oh, okay.
They changed a big plot in a big plot point. It's not Gage, the main plot point.
Yeah.
Gage doesn't get hit by the truck and die and become the zombie kid. It's, what's her name? Ellie, the older child? Yeah. She's the one. When I first heard that, I immediately went, oh, come on, get the fuck out of here. I just didn't like it, but then I thought, well, it makes more sense. A fucking toddler's not that scary. It would be way easier to subdue a toddler than an older kid.
And especially for the movie, like it just plays better cinematically, I think. It's gonna be you're able to make more of a horror movie out of it than like they don't have
to use a doll or anything like they did in the first one. And also,
speaking of dolls, real quick, time out on that.
Time out.
Did you see who they got to play the new Chucky? Do the voice for the new Chucky?
Oh, I forgot.
Mark Hamill.
Yeah. I was excited when I heard that. I was like, that
actually made me like, I might go see a Chucky movie in the theaters, maybe?
Well, nobody wants the original actor to be replaced in Chucky, the voice actor, but then you get Mark Hamill. Fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's hard to turn that down because he's going to do an amazing job. Harping back on Pet Sematary
real quick.
A lot of people were kind of upset. Like, my initial reaction of Pet Sematary is, oh, you can't change such a major plot point, but that doesn't seem to be getting people aren't too upset about that. One, because Pet Sematary wasn't the greatest movie originally anyway. Yeah. So whenever you have a movie that's not that good and they redo it and it might be better, that's like it. I thought the movie was better than the TV series.
Oh, yeah, I mean.
So you can't complain. I mean, everybody, that's another one. Fucking Tim Curry. Everyone's like, oh, you can't replace Tim Curry, is it? Yes, but also if you want a scarier it, kind of. Because he had some moments that were scary and creepy, but as far as like, what the fuck is his name?
He's a Skarsgård. He's one of those. Yeah. He's one of those.
Skarsgård, Swedish.
He's from one of those families.
Yeah, the Skarsgård kid. I forget his name, but he's
the one. I think he's also on Castle Rock too.
Yeah, he's on Castle Rock.
Oh man, that was so good.
Don't get into that because I haven't watched it yet. But I thought he did a good.
And then too, like it's also like sometimes like that original one was like filmed in like was a TV movie in like the early 90s.
Early 90s or late 80s. It wasn't amazing.
So like that's almost over like 20 years until like now like it's gonna be better. Hopefully it's gonna be better.
Because people always shit on reboots, but I'm always under the assumption that my belief, not the assumption, my belief is if you can do it better than the original, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Why not? I never understood this. You can't retell a story even if it's better, or you especially can't change certain elements to the story. Why not?
Especially when those things that like I just said, like on things that haven't been out for like decades.
Yeah, they hate when you reboot old movies, yet some of the greatest movies were reboots that people don't remember, like The Thing with Kurt Russell.
Yeah, that was an old...
That was an old movie. Yeah, people always forget, like, because it was so good.
Or, like, the fucking... The A Star Is Born. It's like the 4th fucking time that movie's been made.
Yeah. Well, so put it this way. If you remade The Shining, people are going to shit on it before it comes out because, you know, it can't be Stanley Kubrick's Shining because it was so good. But if you remade Maximum Overdrive, people might be like, hey, fuck yeah, I'll watch that.
And you know what? I'll go out there. The Shining TV like movie series that they did
wasn't bad.
It
was closer to the book.
Yeah, and so like granted you didn't get like the visuals wasn't as great and you didn't have some of the crazy weird storytelling, but like it definitely made a lot more sense than what the movie did.
Put it this way. I feel like if you had a good director come out, like say Quentin Tarantino wanted to do The Shining, you know that's going to be a badass fucking movie. It's going to be blood and gore, and it's going to be fucking crazy dialogue, and it's going to be a good movie, and that would really make people conflicted because, well, you know, again, Stanley Kubrick's Shining was a masterpiece. We can't remake a masterpiece. Why not? If it's completely different from, like, that's another one. If you make it completely different from the source material, like, a lot of people will get upset, but what if it's really good still?
Yeah.
You can tell a story multiple ways. That's one thing people don't like to talk about. You can tell a story from more than one angle. I mean, even if you say something as simple as the X-Men movies, you could tell a story from Magneto's perspective, and it completely changes everything. Yeah. And then you'd be like, "Oh wait, he's the good guy. He's trying to save mutants who are getting persecuted. They're trying to kill them. Yeah, he's the good guy." Like that's what you would think if you saw it from his perspective. And like they touch on that in the movies. But, you know, it's like, well, he's got to lose. He can't win because extermination of humans. Like, there's always multiple angles from a story you can tell, but it's usually the first one that's what people that's what they stick to.
Yeah, people just don't want to have any change because they for some reason, they think that just because the new Hellboy movie comes out, that they can't watch those other Hellboy movies for some reason.
Yeah,
that's the kind of reaction that they have. Like, now that this new thing is out, you can't ever go back to the old thing that you loved. It's not going to be there anymore. It's still going to be there.
It's my turn to do it. What grinds my gears?
Okay.
You know what grinds my gears?
What grinds your gears?
When fucking people, when they're talking about a reboot or a sequel or something, and usually a reboot, people say, like I see it all the time, especially on fucking Facebook because I follow this movie site on there. They always talk about, oh, they fucking ruined my childhood. Like when they were releasing the new Aladdin with Will Smith the genie. They're ruining my childhood. The old Aladdin's still out there. You can fucking dust it off and watch it.
And like, I don't even think like he looks that bad. Like once he's in blue.
It's because Robin Williams did such a good job.
But you know what? People didn't even realize, and I didn't even realize it until recently, that he only did 2 out of the 3 Aladdin movies.
Yeah, he didn't do the last one.
I thought he didn't do the second one and then came back for... regardless.
I didn't watch the sequels. I don't fucking know. But, like, that's the thing. That fucking... Oh, it ruined my childhood. How did it? The original source material is still there. If somebody rewrites Carrie and you don't like it, you don't have to read the new one. Just read the original.
And nobody's making you go see it.
Nobody's making you see the movie. They redid Carrie recently, and it was shitty.
Yeah, I didn't watch that.
I watched clips of it, and it looked like it followed the book more. I just wasn't interested because they made it PG-13, I think. Yeah. So that's what turned me off. But everyone said it was shitty, and I think, again, probably PG-13.
Yeah, because I remember seeing the thing like that might be good because they got the girl to play that played Hit Girl and all those. Yeah,
Kick-Ass.
So like I was Chloe like, like she could do like a good job, like you know what I mean?
She's a good actress,
and she's played like batshit kind of crazy roles before.
I think that movie was probably good or at least better than they portrayed it. But again, they remade Carrie and Sissy Spacek did an amazing job in the original. But when you fucking read the book, Carrie isn't pretty. She doesn't look like Sissy Spacek or Chloe Moretz. Yeah. She looks like a pudgy acne. Like he more than one occasion in the book talks about her back acne. Yeah. Like it's really detailed and gross. So it's not like they followed the source material in the original movie either. So I don't understand this whole, we have to, we can't remake a movie, especially when they do a remake and it's actually closer to the source material, like you said, the Shining TV series.
Yeah.
Why are we shitting on that? Why do we shit on everything? Is it because we hate change, or is it just because this fucking weird sense of nostalgia from something from your youth? Because when they reboot something that was like say Spider-Man, when they did Andy Garfield and then they immediately did like the Tom Holland ones, you didn't care too much because that was recent. But if they redid a Rugrats or a Doug or something from your childhood, you're going to be fucking shitting on it. Like they're doing He-Man and people are shitting on it.
Do you also think it might have something to do with, like, a lot of these people would probably think, like, oh, if I did the reboot or whatever, if I did it, it would be good, but these guys, they're gonna screw it up.
Yeah, there's that true. Here's the thing, too. There's always this weird thing where it's like, are they going to keep to the, stick to the source material? And then if they do stick to the source material, such as Watchmen.
Yeah.
Oh, that was fucking boring. I could have just read the book. Okay, so if they did Watchmen, but they changed everything. Same characters, same overall story arc, but everything was different.
We'll see because
they're doing
doing that show on HBO, so we'll see what that's like.
I bet you if it's different, it'll get the same kind of ire that the original one got, but different. Like it would be like, instead of, oh, the fucking Watchmen's just like the book, it was the closest comic book adaptation, I could have just read the book. They would be like, oh, it's too different. It's not like the book. I don't like Preacher got that. It's not like, it doesn't follow the book. Do you want to read the book? Go read the book. Yeah. It's fucking there. You can read the books and it's there. You don't have to I don't like movies that are exactly like the book. Why am I watching the movie if it's the same as something I already know the whole story?
The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead.
Everyone got mad when they started changing things.
It's famous for this. The show will follow beats of the comics, like main story beats and arcs. They would do it, and they would do things differently, instead of character A gets killed here, they'll kill character B, and that character A might get killed farther down the line in a different way. And then to get to those main story plots, they take different angles and go different ways, but still kind of get there. But they do things different, because it's a different medium, so sometimes you just have to do things different.
You can't do it the same.
But they also know, along with like the millions of regular people watching it, they have those other fans who have already read all the comics, and you want to keep those people in suspense too, because you don't want those nerdy assholes that's going around telling everybody else, well, in next issue, so-and-so is gonna die. Spoiling no, you gotta change it. You gotta keep people on their toes.
Well, that's a great point. And I mean, I'm sure there's a balance of changing too much and keeping to the source material. Because even I, who likes when they change things, I still want some of the source material in there. Like, you don't want to see a fucking 40-year-old virgin Spider-Man. It's just stupid. But when it comes to, The Walking Dead's a good example, because like you said, they change certain aspects of it, and they kill people different ways. Think about Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't have source material to go on anymore, so now they're creating original content, so people aren't so mad. But, you go back to Walking Dead, the books had a lot of fans, so the fans reading the book might have gotten upset because they changed things because it's not like the book. But like you said, you want to keep them in suspense, and you also want to attract people who didn't read the books or aren't interested in reading the books. It's a different medium. So if it's a different medium, why are you getting upset for them changing things? I'm sure we've touched on this before. They do that a lot when, say, the newest Fantastic Four, when they made Johnny Storm Michael B. Jordan, and then he was, adopted or something? They changed it up because...
Sue was adopted.
Yeah, so they changed it up that way, and people get upset, and anytime they do a race change, they get upset in the movies. The He-Man, they're I believe he's maybe Puerto Rican. I forget his name.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's gonna be He-Man, and everybody was upset because He-Man's big, buff, blonde hair, blue-eyed. I was upset because the Puerto Rican guy's not buff.
Yeah.
You gotta be jacked to be He-Man. I don't really care if you're blonde hair, blue eye, you live on whatever fucking fantasy. It's a cartoon. It doesn't really matter. But people get upset about that. But at the same time, see, I don't know, because like there was talks in the past of Will Smith being Superman, and he said he would never do it because white folks would instantly hate him. Understandable. But say if you had like Idris Elba or somebody that I think would do a good job as Superman, I don't care.
Idris Elba, he
James Bond.
With James Bond, but then he was also in The Dark Tower. Which, granted, that movie did not do what they wanted to do, but that wasn't his fault.
No.
That was just word writing and directing. Like, he did an awesome job. Like, I know now that they're doing they're doing a TV show on, like, the CBS All Access, I think, or one of the streaming services. But, like, I would definitely, like, if they were going to do more Dark Tower movies, I would say keep him.
Yeah.
But I doubt.
Well, here's the thing. You know he would do a fucking excellent James Bond.
Oh, yeah.
And there's no reason he can't be modern day James Bond. And everyone says, well, Ian Fleming wrote James Bond as a white British guy. And when was that, the fucking 50s or whenever he wrote those books? Yeah. And like Ian Fleming was a cool dude. Like he was like a Britain's version of Secret Service. He actually went on mission. He was pretty much real life James Bond. I think he was writing about his life. But Idris Elba would do an amazing James Bond. There's no reason why he couldn't play the character. And people are, like, again, they're upset because it's a black guy playing a white guy. But that's one of those cases, like, there's no reason James Bond can't be a black guy because, as you know, the theory is James Bond is just an alias.
It's
not a real person.
It's just a name.
Yeah, they talked about doing a Jane Bond. And everyone's like, well, I'd be fine if he was 009 or 005. Does it really matter? But then switch it up. Say Tony Stark did decide to make black. Would people probably get upset because, Robert Downey Jr., but say he never got into the Marvel picture, would they get upset still? Because Nick Fury was a white guy, and when you think of Nick Fury now, it's Samuel L. Jackson, because he did a fucking great job.
Or Doctor Who.
Doctor Who.
People were furious that Doctor Who was going to be a female, even though that for years that for those who don't know, Doctor Who, he's a Time Lord. He regenerates when he's about to die. His whole race can do that. And they've showed other people of his race change sex. Like, just because you're a male, that doesn't mean every time you come back, you're going to be a male. You can be a female.
You can easily be a woman.
So, like, they laid that down. And whenever it came and whenever they announced it, you had people shitting on it. But I think what helped with that is that you had a whole new group who was happy and praised for that. Like you had a lot of the women and stuff coming out, but there was still a good amount of hate. But like this last season with her on it, like they were really good episodes. Like she did an awesome job as it, and I hope she gets to I hope she gets some more time as to play the Doctor. Because I think I heard like they'd taken the year off or something like that.
Yeah, something.
But like, I hope she gets at least like another season or series.
That's one of those shows
over there.
That's one of those shows I watched. Like, I don't even remember which Doctor it was. It wasn't David Tennant. Maybe the guy after him. I watched him and it was fucking awesome. But I was like, I can't go down this wormhole because then I'm gonna have to go back 80 years or whenever it started to watch him.
Well, but you could start at when they started like the new series. Like the guy right before Tenet, like you could start with that and you'd be okay. But I'm the same way. Like I had the same thing. Like I'm the kind of guy who will want to go back from all the original
all.
And what sucks about that is like you can't even watch them all because there's a lot of episodes that got lost and damaged.
Yeah, there's like a fire or something.
So like you couldn't even watch technically all of them. But like that's why I got like the first 3 or 4 Doctors. I bought like bootleg seasons at conventions before. I haven't got around to watching them yet, but I will.
Bike gangers.
Excuse me.
You alright? Well, sticking with the British theme real quick. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. In the movie, which I thought was great. People really shit on the movie, and that's one of my favorite movies. I know.
I didn't mind the movie, but I haven't read any.
See, I read the novels, and I still, again, I'm not one to poo-poo movies that have to change things, and obviously...
I'm also a Mos Def fan, too.
Yeah,
I think he's a really good actor.
That's what I'm getting to, but before I get there, with Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, like, there's a lot, And to fit that in like a 2-hour movie, I mean, come on, you're going to have to take some liberties. But I feel like they captured it very, very well. But I think a lot of it was because Mos Def, who I thought was amazing in that movie, he was a fucking great character. But in the book...
He's a white guy?
Well, that's the thing. He's an alien, so is he a white guy? No.
Oh.
But in the book, he's pretending to be like a British citizen because that's where he landed. He's a hitchhiker.
Yeah.
A hitchhiker of the galaxy, if you will. That's how Arthur gets involved in all this. But Mos Def character, Ford Prefect. In the book, I don't think it states what he looks like as far as I remember. It's been a long time since I read those. But in the original shows, based off the old... Because it started as a radio program. But they made a TV show. He was a white guy. And obviously, British fans have more of a problem with this than, American fans. He was played by Mos Def in the movie... Well, there you go. Oh, race swap it. But nobody ever said he was a British white guy. Like Douglas Adams, I don't think specifically say he's a British white guy because he's a fucking alien. So that's one of those things. How much of that movie was hated just because of that aspect?
That seemed like that would have been a better thing to be a TV series than a movie.
I still have hopes that they one day will do a TV series like that, and I hope Mos Def comes back because he was phenomenal, and the guy that played Arthur was really good too.
He hasn't acted in anything recently, has he?
Mos Def?
Yeah, I haven't seen him.
He's not Mos Def anymore.
Oh no?
No, he changed his name a couple years back to I think Yazim Bey or something, and he's kind of became like an activist. He started doing some weird shit. But it's like, not to shit on Mos Def, but how do you change your name from Mos Def to what I'm assuming is maybe like a Muslim kind of name, like how Muhammad Ali,
yeah,
like Cassius Clay to Muhammad Ali. Mos Def wasn't your real name.
Yeah.
And that was a cool name, dude. I don't know.
Does that mean we can take up the moniker of Mos Def? Can one of us be Mos Def now?
I don't know. Could I be Puff Daddy?
He's not using it anymore.
Could I be Cassius Clay?
I don't think he's going to say anything about it.
Well, he's dead, so that's kind of fucked up, yeah. Straying way far away from our original idea of just the basic don't kill classic characters as far as, reimagining them. Are there any other characters you could think of, maybe outside of the comic book world?
That,
because we covered the movies and stuff a lot, but I think the basic idea of what we're trying to convey here is you can't say you can't reimagine something or change it.
I haven't watched them, but Creed, is an extension and
Rocky Balboa universe.
Yeah, so that and it's stooped within the history of the continuity that they've set up, and it's a weird, almost like in real time now. Kind of situation.
Creed works very well. I've seen both of them now. It's because you have Apollo Creed's son, and Apollo Creed obviously got killed by Ivan. What's his name? Ivan Drago.
Yeah.
So he got killed by him.
I've heard this second one was really good.
Yeah, and they're both excellent. They're both of my favorite.
It was just movies. I don't have time.
See, here's the thing. I like them better than the Rocky movies because they're modernized.
Yeah.
Because while the Rocky movies are, inspirational and good, they're also, like, you watch the fights, they're not connecting on punches, and there's a lot of liberties they take just with the fight scenes. And then, like, the story, I didn't live in the fucking 70s. I don't know what it was like. But you modernize it, and you take a young guy that I can relate to. Granted, his dad was, Apollo Creed, fucking champion of the world, boxer, super rich, but he's Adonis Johnson. He doesn't want to be Apollo Creed's son.
Well, wasn't he like, he's just his dad, like who Apollo was married to isn't his mother, right? Wasn't he like a bastard I thought he was like a bastard.
No, because his mom lives in like a fucking mansion and stuff, but they weren't together. Well, he died when he was young.
Okay, like I thought like he might. I
don't think he ever met his dad. I think it was the plot point, and he wanted to kind of create his own name. Yeah, no, he was a bastard because I think he was in an orphanage or something, and Apollo's wife adopted him or something like that. Yeah, it was something like. It's been a couple years since I've seen the first one. That was like a great way of extending a series. Like you go the Dune route. Dune was an amazing series, but when Frank Herbert died, his son ended up taking over. I haven't read any of that. I forget his name. I haven't read any of his work, but I'm assuming he took over his dad's legacy because I think he has more books than Frank Herbert did.
Probably now, yeah. He's probably had more time.
But as long as you continue a story and do a good job of it, I don't see a problem with it. I think the thing is quality. Do you have quality in the work? That's what it comes down to. So if you want to make a Jared Leto Joker, if he's good, he's good. As Joaquin Phoenix is obviously proving so far. Without a fucking movie coming out, just a trailer, people are already like, oh, fuck Jared Leto's Joker.
I'm so happy, like, I think what they announced that it's going to be released on, like, October 4th or something like that. So it's like right before my birthday.
Sweet. Well, here's the thing, going back to Jared Leto's fucking Joker. Was he a bad Joker? Because he was only in the movie for like 5 minutes. They cut out all his scenes. I don't think he was a bad Joker. I just didn't like the way he fucking looked with the tattoos and shit.
Yeah.
But again, they were trying to modernize the Joker. He looks young.
What I'm interested in is that they're doing that Birds of Prey and Harley Quinn's movie.
Right.
So I like if they
is Margot Robbie going to be Harley Quinn again?
Oh yeah.
I heard they're recasting Suicide Squad.
I don't know if they're doing the whole thing.
Will Smith isn't coming back.
No, but Idris Elba is going to be taking over for him.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it's kind of one of those like, but I'm okay with it kind of things.
It ain't too bad.
That's not really like if anything, that might be like a step up, like, because I just think he might be able to play that character a little bit better. But yeah, I don't know, like, they're not recasting Margot Robbie. Like, there's no...
She did a really good job. She is pretty much, when you think of Harley Quinn...
That's what people think now.
Again, though, it's because she's the first one.
Yeah.
Who's to say somebody else couldn't come out and do better? They would shit on them until they came out, and it was like, oh, wait, she's a phenomenal... Whoever came out is a phenomenal Harley Quinn.
So, like, I don't know if they're recasting the entire cast. I'm not sure how that's playing out.
They can't. That'd be stupid. Then again, it is DC. They're fucking making some poor decisions.
But it's so weird now because, like, James Gunn is coming back to do Guardians 3.
Which, in a article I wrote, I said would happen, just so everybody knows. If you want to check that out, it is What is the Deal with Marvel and James Gunn, or something along that line. I said at the end of that article, he's coming back.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to happen.
You did call it.
I did call it. Go on.
But then I think he's still, because before that, he was hired to do Suicide Squad 2, and I think he's still doing that. He's still doing that.
He made the fuck out. He made out double time.
What he needs to do is convince them to do the first ever Marvel and DC movie crossover of Guardians of the Galaxy and Suicide Squad. I don't know how that would work, but I would pay the monies to see that. In
2019, it is really stupid that Marvel and DC don't do that, because they did it in the comics in the 90s, so why the fuck not? You're going to make all the money. Well, Superman fights Hulk.
I think they're on better terms now, but there for a long time, Marvel and DC was feuding with each other comic book wise. But you'd think at some point after so many of these superhero movies, they would do a Justice League versus Avengers movie.
I'm going to stop you there, Spencer, because I think a drunken bullshit episode is in the making here.
Ooh.
And I think not only what you're talking about is going to be the topic, but I want to talk about what the fuck is happening with Valiant Comics in the movies. Because it's 2019, and I thought we were supposed to have some damn movies out.
Okay. Well,
so let's end this one.
Okay. Bye,
and
guys.
then we'll start recording another one.
Bye.
Hey, folks, pretending I'm doing a separate intro, which I'm not. I just wanted to tell you that you can, because I never do this and I always forget every single
to do an outro.
Well, every single episode we just say, okay, goodbye, see you later, have sex and get drunk. No, I always forget to fucking tell them about our personal stuff.
Oh,
I feel like, maybe you should go to www.drunkenpenwriting.com for all your fiction needs.
Yes.
Maybe you should check out @drunkenpenwriting. No, it's Drunk Pen Writing. I'm already fucking it up because I never do it. @DrunkPenWriting on Twitter. And you can email us if you have any show ideas, or if you want to submit some kind of work to our website. It is drunkenpenwriting@gmail.com. And you can also find us at Facebook @DrunkenPenWriting. So, stick around. Check us on Friday for the Drunken Bullshit episode following this one, because I think you'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
Or not. I don't really give a hootin'.
Those ones are fun.
Also, did you pick Betty White or Scarlett Johansson? You picked Scarlett?
Scott, yeah.
You're going Poopy Butthole?
Yeah, Scarlett, yeah.
Keep that in mind, folks. It's always going to be Poopy Butthole. See ya.